So there's only a few things in this world that can make everybody stop everything they're doing on a Saturday and just tune in. And for me in my world, that's college football. So guys, the wait is almost over, man, and we're almost there. College football is right around the corner, and I'm excited about it. Welcome back, everybody. This is Sports Guy and Mike. I'm your host, Nick, and we're going to talk about a few things today. So, guys, again, the wait is almost over. College football is almost here, and I got a few things I want to talk to you guys about. So, some of the things we'll be mentioning today is first off, why does college football mean so much to me? The biggest storylines during the season, teams that I'm buying before kickoff, and we'll also get into a few college football debates that every fan is having about this time right now. So let's get into it, man. Segment one. So why is college football my favorite sport? So I grew up in the state of Alabama, as I mentioned before. And down there in that state, guys, I mean, that's pretty much all we got. That's all we talk about. That's all anybody is. I mean, you're at the grocery store, you're talking college football. You're at after church, you're talking college football. At school, at work, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's pretty much what a Saturday is involving is college football. So, I mean, when you're hearing that much about it and you're just around that atmosphere all the time, it's just kind of hard for you not to inherit that and just kind of have the same feeling. I mean, Saturdays in the fall in Alabama, man, it just revolved around football. That's just the fact. And then let's talk about it, man. The Iron Bowl. As a kid, growing up in school, we would have these drives. If you're an Alabama fan, you would put all the food, canned food, in this box, and if you're an Auburn fan, you would put it in another box. And um, it was, see which fan base was gonna drive the most, the biggest food drive. It's things like that, man. It started pushing that stuff on us as kids early. So it was always just a competition. I mean, that alone just kind of gave you a feel of like, yo, this is a little different, and you want to win. So you try to pick the winning side. So you want your team to win, and that's just the bottom line. Just know one thing: if your team lost on Saturday, just know you're going to hear about it on Monday. So you just were hoping and praying that your team won on Saturday. Um, so yeah, some of my favorite college football memories, man. Shoot, I think the USC Texas game is what really kind of boom, like set it off for me, man. I remember Reggie Bush and that USC Trojan team that year in 2000, I think in 2006. Still probably one of the most entertaining football teams, college football teams that I watched. Just watching them, just with the star power that they had, it was just really cool to kind of see those guys and follow them through that year. And then they played in a national championship against Texas, and that game was a huge game, and again, probably one of the most entertaining college football games that I can remember at an early age. So that game right there just kind of put another emphasis on college football, and it just made you really, really want to dial in and see, who's going to win it the next year. So will they be the same type of players? Is it going to be another Reggie Bush the next year? Is it going to be another, Matt Leinart and Vince Young? So that game right there kind of put it to another level for me, and it was very fun. Um, and then watching Nick Saban rebuild Alabama into a dynasty. Again, I'm a big Alabama fan growing up. Just love Alabama. Always followed them. So early in my years, it wasn't that good. So when he got hired and came to Alabama and kind of turned that dynasty, that team around, that was really, really fun to see, because I would hear about the great days of Alabama, but I didn't get to see it with my own eyes yet. So when he got there, did what he did, and transformed that program back into what I used to hear about all the time, was pretty fun for me to see. So those things right there, man. USC and Texas, that national championship game, Nick Saban transforming Alabama back into the dynasty, and then just growing up in the state of Alabama and childhood memories of can I brag about my team winning on this past Saturday was things that kind of gravitated me to the sport, and that's why I feel like I probably like it so much now. So why Saturdays feel different? College football is an all day event to me. I wake up on Saturday and I watch game day, college game day. That's just what I do. Now that I got responsibilities as a grown man now, I got to make sure things are done around the house. The grass is cut, wife and kids are good. So I got to make sure those things are taken care of, obviously too. But just waking up, watching college game day, getting my stuff together, seeing what games is out there. I love to kind of see game day to me kind of kicks it off. Um, you know, that they're highlighting the biggest game and you're gonna lock in and see what those guys are talking about. And that's kind of like a tradition for me, waking up and watching Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond and Pat McAfee now. That's just kind of get it started, right? Tailgates, grilling. I like to start it off at around 12 o'clock with an ice cold beer. That's just how I like to do it. And then just 12 hours, 12 straight hours or so of just watching football. So it's just something very fun to me, and that's something I do every Saturday. It doesn't matter if my team is playing or not, and it's what makes it college football. That's what makes it different for me. Um, but and of course, like things that makes it a little different is the rivalries. I feel like run deeper. The tradition matters a little bit more to me in college than any other sport. The stadiums have an identity, and I just don't think any other sport creates that type of atmosphere the way college football does. So that's just my opinion, and you guys might not think so, but that's how I feel about it. So, all right, guys, let's get on to the next thing. So it's obviously a new era of college football. The playoffs have expanded. We got 12 team playoff now. So it went from a 14, or well, obviously it went from a non BCS AP kind of uh, AP poll kind of identified a champion. I guess multiple polls kind of identified a champion. Then it went to a BCS ranking to identify the champion with a BCS championship game, and then it went to a 14 playoff, and now we're at a 12 team playoff. So, you know, I probably got my opinion about when we had the 14 playoff. I liked it. I did. You're not gonna have any pushback from me on the 14 playoff. I thought it was fine. I didn't think any issues with that. Um, and honestly, I don't feel horrible about the 12 team playoff. I kind of like the 12 team playoff as well. Um, now, when you start talking about 24 teams playoffs, that is what I'm hearing now. I feel like that's where we're kind of getting a little out of control with the playoff system. I think that I think that we should probably keep it at 12. I think 12 is a good number, just because it's still enough debate in it to keep college football relevant in its own way of, like, the drama that comes with it. Should my team be in? Should this team not be in? I feel like a 12 team playoff still gives you that drama, as you can see over the last 2 or 3 years that we've had it. Um, but I think once you get to 24, it will kind of dilute the regular season, which I think is what everybody was worried about from the beginning. Um, if you start just putting every single team in the playoff, giving every single team a slot, I think you will start to have some it will kind of change the feel of college football to me. So I was cool with the 14 playoff. I'm cool with now that we have the 12 team playoff. But if you ask my opinion, I think we should keep it at 12. um, you know, if you did any type of other expansion, I think maybe 14 teams, you can add two more, but I think we're at a good spot right now. So we'll see what they do. I think that they've been talking about it. And whatever they decide, I'm gonna continue to watch it. So I'm a fan regardless, but I got my opinions on what I feel like, should happen, and just like every other fan. And yeah, that's what makes it, college football is just to kind of keep that the tradition and the regular season, keep that same feel of the regular season that we've always grown accustomed to. So that's just my opinion on that. Let's see, conference realignment. What do you guys think, man? Do y'all feel like the SEC and the Big Ten are just trying to like take over, just become like the only two conferences out there? I mean, I feel like they have. Anytime I hear about anything, any reports on like what's going on with conference realignment, what teams is going to what conference. I feel like the Big Ten and SEC is like in this huge race to like grab every single team out there. And I mean, they're the two biggest conference, obviously. But you know, they already have all the big dogs in those two conferences right there. I mean, all the national championships have came in the last, you know, for at least 10 years. It's been from one or two of those conferences. So, I get why they're, kind of bullying everybody into to getting their way. But I feel like if things keep going the way they're going, they probably will be the only two conferences left, and they'll grab every single team, uh, relevant team out there, and that'll be the new NFL. But I kind of miss the old conferences, the way it used to be, the Pac-12 and all the other conferences, man. It just made sense to me geographically. Like it just made sense. California plays all the teams, any team from California plays all the teams on the West Coast. And then, you know, if you continue to win, you win your conference, then you'll play the Southeastern Conference champion. And, you know, I just think these teams that are in these conferences now, they don't, it doesn't look right to me. Just because I'm old school and I like the way it used to be. But again, either way it goes, I'm gonna watch it. And I think that the Big Ten and SEC have um have a point to their demands because of like how much money they bring to the sport, and the teams that are inside of those conferences, clearly are bringing all of that revenue to the sport. So, I mean, of course they got to say and what's going on. They should have a say. But teams that I think that are eventually are going to make another move, though, I got my eye on three of them. I got Miami, Florida State, and Clemson. I think those three teams right there, I think, and they're all in the ACC, which is a conference that I think is eventually going to get swiped. Man, if one of these three leave, I think the ACC is in serious trouble, man. Like they can't afford to lose any one of these teams. I think all three need to stay if they want to be relevant. I think I've heard Miami has been, you know, one of those teams that have been conferences have been coming at hard, and I think Clemson, the SEC might have been trying to get Clemson. So I think any of these teams would fit well in the SEC. To me, I think Florida State has tradition. I think Clemson obviously has tradition, some history with some of the teams in the SEC now, especially playing South Carolina every single year, playing Alabama in those national championships multiple years. So they built some rivalries. I think in Miami, I think they would fit well too. So I think all three of those would be well in the SEC. But the Big Ten, obviously, I don't know. Again, geographically, it doesn't make sense for any of these teams to me to be in the Big Ten, but uh, that stuff is out the window, obviously. So, but yeah, I think Conference realignment is always crazy to see how these teams move around, but it's a part of the game now, and I think it is what it is. All right, guys. So let's talk about NIL a little bit. So NIL has been a thing now for some years, and um, first off, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know like fully how to break down NIL. I mean, obviously we know it's name, image, likeness, and it's giving players opportunity to create value for themselves from their name and the value that they bring to whatever university they're playing at, and for their likeness and their play. So, um, but I just it's hard for me to fully understand exactly how it works NIL because I feel like everybody's doing it differently, and clearly other teams have more money than other teams. So, what's that about? I don't know if the transparency is quite there for me to see, like, to fully understand it. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I know exactly how this works, but I will say this: I'm not going to complain at all about NIL for the players. Like, I think that they deserve it. I think that they deserve every penny, to be honest with you. Whether it be 500,000 or a million, it doesn't matter. College football makes a ton of money, and to me, the players are the reason why these teams are able to create this revenue. If it wasn't for the players, it wouldn't be a product to put out there. So so I think that they deserve it, man. Um, Now, to me, it's creating some generational wealth for some of these players and their family. And I think I read a stat out there that said that only like maybe 2% of college football players actually make it to the NFL to make that real money. So I get it, man. They're putting their bodies on the line, for entertainment for us. So I think if we're tuning in watching and with the TV contracts making billions of dollars for all of these different universities, then yeah, the players should make money, man, and there shouldn't be a cap on it. To me, that's just the way I feel about it, and I'm standing on that. But I do believe there needs to be some regulations with how NIL is orchestrated and put together. I think that you need to have some transparency of, like, you know, what exactly is going on, how much money is being advocated to all the different players, and to create some balance across the landscape. That way, you won't have, like, all the Texas schools you know, uh, just kind of creating a monopoly on the whole sport. So I do think there needs to be some, rules on it, but I don't think we need to cap it, man. That's just my opinion. Let the players make money, in whatever money they make is what they make. But the transfer portal is a different story. I don't like it, man. I just don't like it. I think this is where I disagree with the current system. I don't like how players are able to move freely and just go wherever they want. Uh, Especially now that we have NIL out there, and these teams spending so much time and money and investing it into a player for them to leave and go somewhere else. I think that there needs to be some rules and regulations on that, man. I think, to me, what makes college football kind of cool, like, if you follow a team, you get to know the players that come in, and then you kind of follow them in their development throughout the year, as they're there 4 years, 3 or 4 years, wherever they're there. And you kind of, like, have a idea of, like, what to expect for the next season or what not to expect. But if players are moving around, you got a brand new team, and every single year, it kind of takes away from the traditional feel of college football. So it it's kind of like a professional league at that point on steroids though, because everybody's moving around. But I'm not saying that players can't transfer. I'm not saying that. I think that you should be able to transfer, but I think you should get one transfer, and then maybe put like like you have to pay a certain amount of money to transfer again because a team invested in you, and if you signed up with this team and created some form of agreement, contract, whatever it is, then you just up and leaving puts that team in a disadvantage now because they spent so much money and time invested into you, and now you leave a void. So I think that maybe we can do something like uh, compensation for the team that's losing the player. Needs to be like a fine or something that can be added if that player wants to transfer. So you get one free transfer, and then after that first free transfer, you get there's a price you have to pay to transfer to the next school. I don't know. That's just a thought, but it sounds like they're trying to figure that part out as well. And hopefully they can get it figured out because that's probably my biggest issue with college football right now is the transfer portal. So, and I feel like everybody kind of agrees on that, man. I haven't heard anyone say yet that they loved the transfer portal. I haven't heard that. All right. So is college football better today? What do you guys think, man? I think my answer to that is I would say yes. I think college football is better today than it was before. And that's probably an unpopular opinion because I think I hear more people say they liked it way better before. So I'm going to explain myself and why my answer is yes. So I love watching Alabama and the dominance that they had when Nick Saban was there. Like literally just every single year, you could just chalk it up. Those guys were winning the national championship or playing for 1-1, competing every single year. You just knew that Alabama was going to be there. But I think you know, today's game is a little bit more exciting because you have way more fan bases that's able to get in on that excitement. It's not the same teams every single time. It's not Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia. I mean, hell, you had Indiana win it last year. You had team, who was it? SMU get in the playoff and some of these Power Five schools that get into the playoffs. It's just it creates a little bit more excitement for the rest of the fans to get involved in it. And to me, the more people that gets involved with it, the more fun you actually have because you got more people you can discuss it with. And to me being unselfish, I think that the more fan bases you can drag in and pull in to them thinking that they have an opportunity to compete for a championship is going to probably give you a better experience overall. Because the more people to me, the better. Um, so that's just my opinion, man. I think, again, that's probably not real popular opinion. I feel like everyone I have talked to likes the likes the old way. They don't like, the playoff system. They don't like obviously the transfer portal that like we spoke on. I don't like it either, but just all the realignment of conferences, all of the different things. It's too much for them, and they cannot seem to wrap their head around the new world of college football. But I'm the type I'm gonna adapt, man. I'm gonna adapt, and whatever is out there, I'm gonna jump on board because I love it. And you see that you complain about it and so much that you can't enjoy it anymore, or you just say, hey, this is what we're moving to. We try to find common ground and some balance, and then everybody can try to get back to the game, which is what's important. But so yeah, what do y'all think, man? Y'all think that it was better the old way, or are you jumping on a train and say, hey, how can we fix it to make it better, and we'll go from there. But all right, guys. So segment three. So we're going to talk about some of the biggest storylines out there entering the season, and the teams that everybody's talking about. I feel like there's about five teams out there that everybody's mentioning, and um, they got a bunch of opinions about what they're going to be. So the teams I'm hearing about, man, I'm hearing Texas, I'm hearing Ohio State, I'm hearing Georgia, I'm hearing Miami, and I'm also hearing a lot about Indiana. So I can personally probably buy into three of these teams that I'm hearing about. These are championship favorites from people I'm hearing. And this is from like analysts and people at work or people that the group chat. These are teams that everybody keeps talking about over and over. Um, okay, so I'm buying Texas, man. I can get behind that. Texas. They've been right on the cusp every single year for the last 3 years. They got, good coach, good fan base, good players, obviously. They got the right, tradition, the right everything. Texas is for uh, built to make a run again, obviously. So I can see why people are saying that. Ohio State, obviously, they are consistent with what they do. They great players, like, just like Texas, got great players, great coach, great fans. They got it all. So Ohio State returning a returning quarterback, starting quarterback. They got probably the best receiver in the country with Jeremiah Smith. So I think that they're there. They got. I mean, obviously, I think they got a bunch of defensive players that they got coming back as well. I think they lost a few, but obviously, but they reloaded, and I think they did well in transfer portal as well. And then I can get behind Georgia. Georgia's best coach in the country to me with Kirby Smart. Returning quarterback, which is very, very important to me. So all three of those teams have returning quarterbacks. So major plus. And then, obviously Georgia always has a great defense and, so I can see why people would be talking about them as well. Miami is one that I'm a little hesitant on. I know they had a great year last year. They had a great couple years, to be honest with you. They've had solid teams, but Miami, new quarterback coming in, which I hear the kid is really good. Played at Duke last year, so they obviously got a playmaker right there. They believe they got a playmaker there. That Tony kid that they have at the receiver position, um, electric. He's, I mean, probably one of the best receivers in the country. And I think that they got playmakers. They obviously got playmakers. So where I'm kind of like hesitant on Miami is they lost a lot on defense, man. With Bain leaving, they had a few other cats on that defense that left. What will they look like on the defensive side is where I'm kind of like, because that was the main reason to me why they were in position last year was because that defense was super solid. That defensive line was nasty, man. And if they can't, mimic that, then you're asking a lot from a new quarterback in a new system with a new coach and a new players around him. You're asking a lot for him to play at a level to where you don't know what that defense is going to look like. So, not to say Miami's not going to be good. I think they probably will win the conference, man, to be honest with you. But, I'm just a little hesitant on why everybody is so high on Miami right now when we don't really know what that defense is going to look like. Um, and then Indiana, I think Indiana, man, I don't know, man. They clearly had a great team last year. They won the national championship, and they were really, really good at what they did. I got proven wrong week after week. I kept saying that they were not really like that. I kept saying that eventually they were going to get exposed. Eventually that but they kept proving me wrong. Not only did they prove me wrong, they beat the hell out of my team. So I mean, hats off to them, man. They had a great season last year. The age limit that they had last year, they had a bunch of experience and older guys on that team. So I do believe that played a factor in what they did. I think that they got a little bit younger this year. So they're not quite as the age is kind of came down a little bit. Um, and but they, I looked at it and they still have like one of the most experienced rosters in the country. So they still have a lot of players that have a lot of experience. So I think that they'll still probably be pretty good. They got a transfer quarterback. I think his name is Hoover. Played for TCU. That came in and they're high on him. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I think out of those teams right there, man, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, and Indiana, I'm buying three of them from the hype of a championship favorites. So I'm buying. I can say three of those can slide into a championship to me, but the other two are still suspect to me. I still have to see something to jump on that train. So that's just my thoughts. But what do you guys think, man? Who's overhyped and who might not be given enough credit to? Because I tend to do that sometimes. But we'll see. I'm standing on that though. Okay, man. So new faces in college football, new faces in new places. Um, the only one I got right now for the coaches, man. I know we have a lot of coach changes out there in the college football that happens like every single year. But the one that I'm most intrigued about is Lane Kiffin at LSU. I think that man, I think LSU got the right guy. To be honest with you, man, if Lane can keep his head on his shoulders and stay stay the course, I think LSU is going to be a problem for years to come. To be honest with you, Lane is I've as an Alabama fan, he was with us for a while, as people know, and I like him a lot. I know a lot of my group chat Alabama guys, they wasn't real high on Lane, man. I guess they don't like the baggage that comes with them and whatnot. But for me, man, he was one of my favorites. I think offense was always clicking with Lane. He was a great play caller. I feel like internally he's a player's coach. Players seem to play hard for him. Regardless of what you feel about him, he's a good recruiter, obviously. And now he's at a place in LSU where he can do all the things he likes to do, and he probably can match what he did at Alabama. Now that he's at LSU, probably the closest that I've seen at any place he's been. I know he was at Tennessee, and USC probably was a place that he probably could have done well if he would have stayed the course there. I think he would have did well at Tennessee as well. But LSU is built for him to have success there. If he stays and does what he needs to do, LSU, man, they got the talent there. They got the fan base. They got the tradition. The stadium is rocking every single Saturday, so they get advantage there. Um, you know, he had a great season recruiting. He had a great recruiting season as well. So pulling in a bunch of big time transfer portal players. So we'll see what Lane does, man. And man, hopefully that they can just leave some crumbs for everybody else, man, because I think that they're gonna be pretty nasty. So another new face and a new place is Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. So um, so I think Michigan needed a new coach, and this is who they went with. He's one of the most respected coaches in the country, proven winner. It'll be interesting to see how his style translate. See if he can get Underwood, the quarterback there, see if they can get on the same page and have success. And I'll be interested to see what Michigan does, man. See if it's like some years to come before they're relevant again, or does he immediately come in and Because I don't think Bryce played that well last year. Underwood, I think he kind of underperformed his recruiting value. So I think this year he might have something to prove. So we'll see what Kyle and Underwood does this year, and I'll be curious to see how that turns out. But yeah, we'll see. Um, so biggest transfer players, man. Some transfer players is out there. The highlighted transfer players to me, we got Darian Minshew to Miami. So that's the kid I've been talking about. That's the kid everybody's been talking about. And you know, I want to see him, man. I saw him at Duke. I went back and looked at him at Duke because I didn't get to see a whole lot of him at Duke, to be honest with you, last year. So I had to go back and watch some stuff on him. And I mean, the kid is nice. He's nice. You know, he can run it a little bit. He clearly can throw the ball. So um, just curious on how he's gonna insert himself into Miami and will he pick it up pretty quickly and get into the new system um and get it rolling. Because it's Miami's got a lot of pressure on them, man. I think that they really wanna get there and get back to those championship days that they used to have. And so I think there's a lot of pressure on the kid. So yeah, he's probably one of those players that I'm watching, and probably the biggest transfer player to me, my opinion, that transferred out this year and is a new spot. So yeah, I'll be having my eyes on Miami. Um, so yeah. All right, guys. So players ready to break out. So these are some guys that I am looking at to take bigger roles, and they're going to be put in positions to have a breakout year. So I got three of them, man. I got Keelan Russell at Alabama. He's a redshirt freshman. And then also at Alabama, we have Austin Mack that will be competing for a job. So one of those two will obviously be calling the shots down there in Tuscaloosa. So we'll see which one of those guys is wins that job. But whichever one does, they're getting put into a very very tough spot because they got to perform. And so I feel like you got to be ready to break out, have a great year. If you're going to be put in the starting role at the University of Alabama at quarterback, then you got to be ready to go. So whichever one of those guys wins it, I think whoever wins it, I think will have some tools to have that breakout year that I'm talking about. So it just depends, man. You got to be ready to go, man. It's a lot of pressure as well down there to perform, and if you can't handle that pressure, then it gets tough. So we'll see which one of those guys uh, can pick it up and you know get that team rolling down there. So yeah, the next one I got is Josh Hoover at Indiana. That's a transfer quarterback from TCU that we were talking about, and I think he also is going to be put in a position to where he can break out. If he comes in there and picks up where if he can come in there and pick up where Mendoza left off, then I think that Indiana can have another shot at making a really good run at a national championship again. Because I do believe they got some pieces that are experienced coming back, and he will be a big part of that success that they're going to need. And that's one reason why, going back what I was talking about earlier, if you know, we're putting a lot on him. Uh, if he's not going to play at the level that Mendoza played at last year, which Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy, if he doesn't play at that level, then they're probably not going to be that team that everybody thinks they're going to be. So we'll see, man. We'll see. So I think those three right there, Keelan Russell, Austin Mack, and Josh Hoover, I think all three of those guys will be in positions to have breakout years if they can come in and perform at a high level. So a lot of pressure, man. But speaking of pressure, we're going to go into coaches under a lot of pressure coming into 26. Um, Man, I think this is just my opinion, man. I think that it doesn't get any more pressure than Dan Lanning at Oregon. Um, Dan Lanning at Oregon, he has been excellent during the regular season. He's constantly winning 11, 12 games every single year. Oregon plays at a high level. Big games, they win them. The issue I think I'm having for them is, we measure championships, at least I do. And if you're, at a place like Oregon, which puts out crazy amount of NIL money, resources and time, that they want to win. So I don't know if 11 and 12, 11 and 12 every single year is gonna be okay for them. And I think that it's starting to get to a point where you're gonna have to break through and win some of these playoff games, and not only win some of the playoff games, but get to the championship game and actually win it, because I think that they are at a point now where they want to win a championship. They're done. I don't want to speak for Oregon fans, so if there's any Oregon fans watching this, y'all let me know. But I think y'all are ready, man. I think y'all want to win, and I think Dan Lanning is a great coach. I think he is, a top 10, top five type of coach. But you know, at some point, man, you gotta get over that hump and bring it home. So we'll see what Dan Lanning does coming into this season. I know he got some tough games, but you got to win some of those tough games to get where you want to go. So I think he has the most pressure on him as a head coach. So all right, so next we're going to talk about some programs that are trying to prove that they're back. So these are some teams that I feel like are almost there. They you're hearing about them. They're doing the right things. They're hiring the right coaches to get the right players, and they want to get back to where they used to be, and they want people to respect them again, and all of this. So these are the teams that I came up with after going through tons of teams, but I came up with three. But these are three that I'm gonna ride with. Um, so number one, I'm gonna talk about Florida. I think Florida is a team that they're doing the right things. They hire the right coaches. I think John Summerall is the right head coach for them. I think that he is. I think he's a solid coach, to be honest with you. And Florida has been almost there, man. I feel like every year you look at them, you're like, man, they can really do it this year if things work out. But I think there was a few years where their schedule just did not, give them any favors. Had one of the toughest schedules a few years ago, and they clearly couldn't handle it. And but I think getting a more favorable schedule with the right coach and some talent that they have down there, I think Florida can make some noise and try to get back to where they used to be with man, Florida used to have some good teams, and they were competitive, but I just think that they have fallen behind a little bit, and I think they wanna get back. So I think they got something to prove, and they're one of those programs that I think they're trying to do it. Um, Next, I'm gonna go with Texas. Yeah, so Texas is one of those teams as well that just they've been there. They've been just on the cusp, but just can't get it done. I feel like you got to win championships to really say that you're back. So, of course they've been in the mix every single year, but again, you gotta be able to get over that hump and get a championship underneath your belt to really solidify that I'm back title. So so they're my next team. And then next I'll go with USC. Again, USC is another team that they've been trying to get the right coaching staff, trying to get the right players. Quarterback play is not really, to me, has been the biggest issue about getting them over that hump. But you know, I think that they're another team that's looking to get back to those days. I was mentioning Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart earlier, trying to get back to those good days where they were competing for a championship every single year and trying to make it. But they're another team that's getting close, but got to win a championship, man, to really get that I'm back title. So yeah, so those are three teams that I've been looking at, and hopefully they'll be able to get over that hump and really get that I'm back title. So we'll see how the season goes and see if they can get that done. All right, guys. So segment four. I'm about to give you guys some teams that I'm buying before the season starts. These are not predictions of like who I think will win a championship or anything like that, but these are teams that I am really high on and I'm going to go all in on. So number one, man, I'm gonna go with LSU. I'm buying them, guys. Just give me all of it. I think LSU is with a new head coach with Lane Kiffin and Sam Levitt, and they got an excellent transfer portal additions. I think that they're going to be a team to really reckon with. I'm really high on LSU, man. I think that they're going to be a dangerous team, and we'll see how that goes. And then Texas is next, man. Give me Texas. I'll buy Texas. I think with Arch Manning, with the addition of Cam Coleman, and they got a couple of elite running backs coming in that transfer portal class, and mix all that together with Sarkisian, and I think that they'll be a team that you can buy. So those are two teams that I'm buying, and won't give y'all any more than those two because I'll have another show where I'll talk, about some other teams looking forward to and probably buy their stock as well. But those are two that I'm going to give you guys that I'm all in on them. I think that those two right there are teams that you could probably bank that they're going to compete for a championship this year, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so give me LSU in Texas, and I'll buy all that stock. Um, and these are two teams. The other two I'm going to talk about are two teams that I'm just watching. Some teams that I'm curious about. Some teams that you know are interesting, but they're on the watch list. So I'm gonna start with Indiana because I talked about them earlier. So clearly they are not a pretender. They won last year. So I mean, we can just stop, acting like they're not a decent team because I do know they're a decent team. But can they build what they did last year? Is basically what I'm watching. Can the new quarterback, we talked about him earlier, can Hoover come in and pick up where Mendoza left off and play at an elite level? And if he can do that, then I think that Indiana will mimic somewhat of the success they had last year, and there'll be another great year. But still, obviously, one of the most experienced rosters in the country, despite them getting younger. So I'm just interested to see if they can, stay in national championship contention and repeat what they did last year, and I'll just look crazy again. Just I'll look like a hater once again. But yeah, so Indiana's one that I'm watching to see what they're gonna do, and is it real? So we'll see. The next team I'm watching, keeping eyes on, is the Auburn Tigers. Me being an Alabama fan, then I gotta obviously watch out for them and see what they got going on. But it's the new head coach and the new coaching staff coming in, mixed with the new quarterback, Byron Brown. Can Golish get on the same page and get Auburn back on track and get them doing magical things like they have done in the past. They also got a strong defense coming back, so I think the defense will be. I think got most of their returning starters on the defensive side, so I think that their defense was good last year. So if they can even play close to what they did last year and then get the offense on track, then obviously we'll have to watch and see what they can do. But I got a lot of Auburn friends. I know they're kind of quiet because I think everybody's trying to see like what Auburn's going to really be, and they're trying to see like, yo, is this real? Are we going to kind of compete and you know get over that hump. But so Auburn's a team that I'm going to be watching, man. See if they can get some good quarterback play, and then mix that with if they can get some defense like they played last year, mixed with consistent offense, then obviously they'll be a team to watch. So Auburn and Indiana will be two teams that I'm keeping my eye on to see if it's real or not. All right, guys, segment five. We got college football questions. So I'm just gonna hit you guys with a couple of quick debate questions, and then and I'll answer them, and we can debate them if y'all want to. So question number one is the playoffs too big? So my answer to that is I'm gonna say no. I do not think the playoff is too big. I think that 12 teams is perfect. Like I spoke on a little bit before. I think 12 teams is the perfect amount of teams, and if anything over 12, I think is kind of pushing it, and especially if you get into the 2014 playoff. I don't want to see that. I thought the 14 playoff was actually pretty good, but I think 12 is perfect, man. So we can debate it if y'all want to, and see what you guys think. But that's how I feel about it. Next question. So are conferences becoming meaningless? I'm gonna say not yet. I think that conference championships still matter. I think that they don't matter as much as they used to, but I still feel like, at least in the SEC, that is that everyone still wants to win that SEC championship. People still want to get there. People still want to brag and say, "Hey, we won a conference." But I do believe that it's getting to a point where it's starting to get watered down a little bit. So we have to be careful with that. But right now, I still feel like it matters, and people want to win it. So. What do you guys think? We can debate it if you want. Um, Next question. So, is the transfer portal good for college football? No, I don't think it is. And I'm going to stand on that. I think that I do think that players deserve freedom. I think players should be able to give themselves the best chance to have the opportunity to play. But I think that we need to have some regulations on you being able to jump around and go wherever you want to go, especially with the new NIL here, and teams spending so much money, time, and everything invested into you. Then I think that we need to figure out how to bring some balance to it, and where everybody can, you know, uh, have fun with watching the games, because players just leaving teams is just not fun for the fans. And we spend a lot of time digging deep into the team, and uh, getting familiar with certain guys. And when the whole team is just leaving out and going somewhere else, it kind of dilutes that for the fan. So I'm gonna say no. Next question. What makes college football so special? That one's simple for me. I think that there's no sport that has a fan base like college football. I think that is fan college football has a very unique fan base, and one that just the passion and the energy that the fans bring to the game is just not like other sports. And yeah, I know there's other sports out there that, they could say, fans have, the same or if not more energy. And, I like those sports too, but just my biased opinion, I guess. I just really love college football, and I feel like that, just the atmosphere, the excitement, the Saturdays, it's just nothing like it. So I'm going to say that um, college football is special because of the fans and the energy that they bring. So, what you guys think? We can debate it if you want. Um, but yeah, anyways, guys, so that's it, man. So college football is almost back, man. And honestly, I cannot wait. There's nothing like waking up on a Saturday and watching College Game Day, firing up the grill, cracking open a cold beer, and then just getting 12 straight hours of college football, man. That's just it's nothing like that. So yeah, so that's what the sport's all about, man. And we're gonna have so much fun this year talking about it, and it's gonna be a great year, I think. So um So next episodes, guys, we're gonna be making some predictions. I'm gonna give you guys some of my playoff teams that I think will make it to the playoffs. You know, some teams that might make the national championship games. I'll give you some of my Heisman predictions. I'm gonna also give you guys some more teams that I'm buying, some teams that I'm selling that I'm not so high on. And I can't wait to share my picks with you guys as well, man. We're gonna look at some predictions for conferences, conference championship winners. We'll look at some odds, look at some look at the sports books a little bit and see what's out there. But yeah, guys, so it's been a fun episode talking to you guys, and I always enjoy talking college football. It's what I really like to talk about, to be honest with you. But until next time, guys, I'm Nick, and this is Sports Guy on the Mic, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.